Hello, I know that I have not made a video in a long time, and the reason is because I have been writing, and I'm a lot better at writing than I am at talking at a camera. I'm a lot better at writing, hopefully, than I am at playing the accordion, but I'm just going to play a little song. Okay, that's it. That's all I'm going to play for you today. I'm just relaxing on a Sunday evening and trying to focus on marketing because it's what I don't do. And I am at the last stages of my next book and I have not even bothered to really market it. So, of course, at the last minute, at the last stretch, the last lap, I post a bunch of stuff on my blog. I even have, if you go over there to jilldomshot.org, you will find a blurb that actually I had AI help me write for my next book, because it's really like, okay, no, it's not easy to write a really long 120,000 word sort of ghost story, murder mystery comedy. It's not easy, but it's a lot easier than writing a 150 word blurb that sort of summarizes a 120,000 word book. And yes, my book is 120,000 words or thereabouts. It's really close. I'm in the last stages of editing. We went back to the drawing board with my book cover, and that's kind of what I want this video to be about. Because when we went back to the drawing board with the cover, it was because it just wasn't working. And neither of us were inspired. And the previous book cover, it was like once we'd come up with the idea and then she came up with the artwork, it was beautiful, it was inspiring. You can say what you want about how it's not a proper genre cover. I don't care. Maybe I'm creating my own genre because it is sort of like magical realism, ghost story meets comedy, murder mystery. And so I really felt like it fit with my story because it has a giant dragonfly rising up, and that's very magical. And there's a church bell tower right behind it. It looks like a church, but it was taken from a photograph of an actual church bell tower. And when my artist took over, she made the photograph look sort of surreal, because that's her vision is surreal, real but hyper real. And it sort of I guess, I don't know. I don't know. I suppose that is a genre of art, to have surreal art, but it's pretty amazing. I love that cover, but that wasn't happening with the new book cover. And the book was called, the entire time I was writing it, I advertised it as such, it was called Delivering the Goods and the Bads. So in case you don't know, the series is about a delivery driver who ends up becoming an amateur detective and starting a little detective agency. That's what happens in the first book. He finds a detective partner. In the second book, he actually gets an entire team. And so that's a definite theme in the book, is his fellowship of detectives. But the delivering the goods and the bads, for some reason, it just wasn't working. And it worked with some of the elements of the plot because there are breakdancers in the book, and she had the font look like 80s style spray paint graffiti art, and that was what the book cover looked like. It looked like there was graffiti art with a break dancer, and I mean, it was cool. Like, it would have worked if I had put that on a book cover. It would have worked. It had good, the all I can think of is the word choreography. The the way everything worked together. I mean, it looked fine. It was a good design, but neither of us liked it, and we weren't inspired. And so she had called me the other night, and we were talking it over, and we kind of just left it because we didn't know where to go from there, from that point. And the next morning, she texted me and said, she asked me if I prayed about it, because of course we pray about everything, regardless of whether God wants to hear our prayers. He does. And I just thought about it, and I did have an image in my head that I thought could work for a book cover, and I got back to her and described the elements that I thought might work. And she said, what is the one word for this book? Because the last book was hope. That's why it became Delivering Hope. So of course he's a delivery driver, he's delivering packages, but obviously he's delivering hope. That's not too hard to figure out thematically. That's what he's doing. And ultimately, that's the whole idea behind the book, is to bring new hope to the main characters and to other people in the world, because of course we're solving murders and bringing about justice. So hope, that was the main theme of the previous book. And she said, well, what is the theme? And she said, I know you told me once that you thought maybe it was about community. And I said, yeah, that's a huge theme in the book. It's about community. You have a fellowship of detectives. You have broken family relationships between children and parents. And so there's this theme of community and family restoration. And I thought, so maybe my one word would be restoration or second chances. But of course, second chances is not one word. But she actually liked that. She went for that. She said, so delivering second chances. And I thought, well, it doesn't really have the sort of same ring as delivering the goods and the bads. I mean, it's kind of boring, but so is delivering hope. Delivering hope doesn't, unless you understand that it is a series of novels that are all about a delivery driver delivering something intangible as well as actual packages, then it does seem kind of boring. But packaged together, it is a little more interesting. And I thought, despite the fact that maybe it's a little more boring and not as comical as delivering the goods and the bads, I think delivering second chances works. So the book is now Delivering Second Chances, and we're going to go from there. I don't know what she's going to come up with. She has a family, so I'm not going to pressure her too much to try to come up with something. I'm still working on the edit. I got the book back from the editor, and now I have to employ all the edits, reject or keep them, or even I've sat on it for a while, so I've had some distance from it, and it's easier to edit when you have distance. And so I'm able to cut out entire sentences and paragraphs that I was not able to cut out before, which is good, but not good because I got it back from the proofreader. The proofreader, that's correct. I got it back from the proofreader, and now I'm cutting out lines. But hopefully cutting out lines won't create too many proofing errors. It is the reality of a freelance self-publisher. Usually we can only afford one editing pass, and so we might add more editing problems when we go through an edit. It is what it is. She did her job. She did a great job. She had this huge hurdle of this giant novel, and it was great. She did a great job, and I'm working my way through it. There's time. There's time. The book will be published when it is supposed to. And by the way, the song that I was playing, I wanted to play because it's really easy. It's just what I came up with for the song Madre Eres Ternura, which is a song that one might sing at Mass if you go to a Spanish-speaking Mass. I normally don't, but sometimes I do, and I love that song. Usually when I travel, because when I'm here I go to my parish, which is not Spanish speaking, although we do have, you know, the Spanish speaking parish in this town, but it's not my parish. Anyway, I do like the Spanish canciones para la misa. I like those songs, and so I try to learn them on the accordion. I don't really have music, and I don't really read music, and I just came up with some chords to do that, to play this song and other songs as well. I can play a handful of them, and other than that, you know, sometimes when my dad is around, he'll start playing on his guitar just whatever, a lot of good old-timey English hymns, and I will follow along by playing chords, because I do know how to play chords, and I can play most chords. This accordion is a little difficult sometimes to play chords, because it's an F, B flat, E flat accordion, and there are missing notes, or it makes it really difficult to make some chords, and I have to adapt to that. But that is my version of Madre Eres Ternura. I'm sorry I do not have my mic on. I cannot sing above the sound of my accordion. Otherwise, I would sing it for you. But I wanted to practice it and actually listen to myself play, although I don't usually listen to my videos because I don't like listening to myself. I want to listen to it because I'm going to play that song for an altar and rosary meeting coming up, and I'm going to, you know, bring the words and talk a little bit about the words and why I like them. It's very simple. It's a very simple song, but it gets down to who Mary is and why people in the Catholic Church, you know, appreciate her. And being part of the Altar and Rosary Society, Mary's very much part of the society. She is, I don't know, I guess you could call it the patroness of the Altar and Rosary Society. I don't know. I'm giving a religious presentation. Members of Altar and Rosary can give religious presentations. They can sign up to do them. So I had signed up to do one in April. It will be after Easter. And so I have a little bit of time to practice. And you know, I don't play my accordion very often for anybody. I know I've played a few songs here and there on these videos to try to warm up to playing for people, because I'm really kind of shy, and I'm trying to get better about, I don't think I'll ever be a performer because that's not who I am, but I'm trying to get better about it. And I think that if I practice on these videos, then I can grow and get better. However, I don't make videos very often because I don't have time, or I'd much rather do other things than make videos and play my accordion on video. Anyway, I really did want to practice a little bit, kind of performing, as it were, without, you know, doing takes, because you don't do that live. You don't have takes. I know because I sing in the choir, and sometimes I'm a cantor. I've talked about that before. I'm not the main cantor or anything, and I'm not a great singer, but you don't get second takes. The way it comes out is the way it comes out, and if you sing it wrong, then you sing it wrong, and you just have to go with it. But I've gotten better about it. When I first started, I was so nervous singing the cantor parts that like the music would be like shaking like a leaf because my whole my hands would be shaking. But now I don't feel as frightened anymore. The last couple times I did it, I just like, the fear just vanished, and I thought, you know, this is my parish and my parish community, and it's really just like 1 hour long mass with the canto parts being just these small elements, especially the ones that are sung as solos, because a lot of the canto parts, the entire congregation is supposed to sing along with the cantor, and it's really not a huge deal. It really isn't. People can be very critical, especially about what happens in a mass, and I understand that, but I'm not going to let it get to me, because it's my belief that God wants to push us out of our comfort zones, and that is definitely way, way out of my comfort zone. And when I get up there and do that, I believe that I am doing something for God, and not for the critical masses of people. And that is the way I feel about it. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed that little song, and you're just going to get that. Even though these videos started out being about my books, you're always going to get something about my faith and about my accordion, because I'm obsessed with both. And you're going to get probably that in my books, not the accordion. I had one character who played the accordion. It was years and years ago. A Welshman in my book, Anna and the Dragon. He was an accordion player. I put my love for the accordion in it. I even did some name drops of Mi Golondrina, which is my favorite. Well, it was my favorite song back then, and it still is one of my favorite songs, because it just hits me in my heart and soul in the right way. The lyrics, the melody, everything working together, they just hit. You know, like songs do that. That's why music is so powerful, and it's so unique to each person too, the way music hits you. And I don't know, I can't explain it when a song hits me, and I'll just play it over and over and over and over again. And with a song like Mi Golondrina, I really don't get bored of it, although I don't play it on repeat like some of the newer songs that I like. You know, if it's something new, then I might play it on repeat over and over again. That's what repeat means. It means over and over again. Sorry to be redundant. It is amazing. And of course, literature can be very unique that way too, the way it hits us. And I hope that I give you something that will hit you in the right spot in your soul when you read my books, if you read my books, which I hope you will, because reading is good. We can get so sidetracked with social media, listening to videos. I listen to podcasts all the time, and I'm like, you know what? I really just want to listen to silence and read a book. Or I could listen to music and read a book, but sometimes it's nice to have silence and not listen to podcasts, and of course listen to my favorite songs and repeat. I could do that too while reading a book. There's one, I can't think of what it's called right now. I've been listening to it on repeat. I think it's called Tus Mentiras, but I can't, the artist is kind of new to me, and he has a funny name, like Muy Bobadillo or something like that. It's just an amazing song. But I had heard it on just like Spotify, put it on one of my song lists, and I'm like, this is really a great song. I mean, it has everything that I like in it. It has just dramatic vocals, it has the brass band elements, and it also, the accordion finds its way in there. It's about, I don't know, about 3/4 of the way through the song. Like, the song's already amazing, and then all of a sudden this accordion starts wending its way around like the banda. And I'm like, whoa, this song is amazing. So I listened to it over and over again. I haven't gotten bored of it yet. It's probably my song of the year. It's not my song of the year, because there was another song that played at midnight on New Year's Eve. Actually, no, I wasn't even awake at midnight on New Year's Eve. It was just the first song I must have listened to on New Year's Day. I don't remember. I was sick for New Year's Eve, so I was asleep by like 8 p.m. Yeah, exciting. Way to start the new year with a bang, to be sick. But I don't know, I just had a cold for a couple days, and then I was okay. It was okay, but I didn't say hello to the new year. And thinking about this, I'm like, this is really the first video I've made in the new year. That's so terrible. And yesterday I spent all this time putting up, I had started a blog post and I never posted it. So I posted that. That was a draft, but then I wanted to put up the one. You see, I have bellow marks on my arm. I wanted to put up the one that I'd really meant to write about, which was my misadventures with AI. You can read that on my blog, my misadventures, and the one that was in draft that I threw up. Those are the only two that I've written, and I'm trying to change my blog a little bit. I want to make it more like a Roswell community journal, and talk about local community events, but I'm just so busy. I don't know when I'm going to do this. I just have to make time for it. That's the reality. And I did spend a couple hours putting up posts yesterday, and if I could do that every week, then at least I would be posting once a week. That would be good, right? And I did manage to post two, although like I said, the other one was in drafts and I just needed to post it really. It just needed to be finished, like the last couple lines written and then post it. It wasn't very long anyway. I was just trying to post something intriguing to me, which, and maybe you might find Roswell, New Mexico intriguing as well, because it is a crazy place here. But that's why it's the backdrop for my books, my crazy gothic ghost story, murder mystery comedies, and yeah, my characters. So you can go read about my misadventures with A. I'm not going to talk about that here. I did want to talk about the fact that my book now has a new title, because that just happened. And I am really glad, because while my book was at the editor, I thought, well, I should get things done. I should prepare to post everything to Amazon. I was going to go assign an ISBN, because I bought a bunch of ISBNs in bulk. They're kind of expensive. So if you buy them in bulk, they're cheaper. And I was going to assign one to the title, Delivering the Goods and the Bads, and I didn't, because I didn't even know what the price point for this book would be yet on Amazon. And so I don't know all the information. I'm not going to do this yet. And I'm really glad, because it never occurred to me that I would change that title. That title was the title. Like, that was the title that had been, I was going to use for my book, 2 years ago when I started writing it. Yes, it's been that long. And I was going to use that title. And the next book, the one after it, I had already decided was going to be Delivering Justice. And I actually have that one, like the loose plot going on in my head, so I kind of know what's going to happen. But that's my working title for the next book, which I have not started yet, because I'm working on the second in my two-part Roswell Alien books. I'm almost done with the sequel to the first book. And I think that will only have 2 books in the series. I don't know, we'll see, but that's really all I want to do, because I'm really obsessed with my other books, because they're comedies. And I would say with my Alien novels, there's some comedic elements in them, but they're more like, they're just kind of weird rather than funny. Like, I find when I read my Delivery Driver books, my writing, the first one and the second one, I laugh at my jokes, because I think it's funny. I hope you find it funny too. But if I didn't find it funny, then I'm sure nobody would find it funny. But I laugh, and I want that element. I like humor and going forward. So I don't know that I want to keep up with the Roswell Alien books, but there was always supposed to be a sequel, the second one, the fulfillment of the prophecy that started in the first book. And yeah, it's about 3/4 done, the first draft. And then, well, we'll get back on that. It will be called, this one I'm pretty sure the title is not going to change, is Knights of Natan. I don't think I'm going to change that, because that's been the title for a long time. It fits with every part of the book, and honestly, I don't feel this great urge for those books to have this, like, it has to be just right. And like Delivering Second Chances, it's really weird, because it's very plain, it's very ordinary, doesn't sound as cool as Delivering the Goods and the Bads, but it hits me right. I think it's the right title, and I think that's what's happening in the book, is that the characters are going to get second chances. And that's it. I just wanted to get on here and practice playing a song with no takes, and talk about my new title and the fact that the book will be done soon. I'm sorry about, I kind of did this spontaneously. It's Sunday. I have done some grocery shopping and mostly just like after lunch, just slept, I took a Sunday nap. So I didn't I didn't do anything to make myself look amazing or deal with lighting. The lighting's not perfecto, I'm sorry to say, but this is what you're going to get. So Have a great, this is, by the way, the fifth weekend of Lent. And so next weekend is Palm Sunday. So I'm just going to tell you right now, have a blessed rest of your Lent. And hopefully, maybe I'll see you next week, because I don't know about Holy Week is really busy, because I don't have to go to every Mass, and I don't have to do that, but I sing in the choir and I would like to. So usually I do the entire Triduum, which is the Holy Thursday, which has the evening Mass of the Lord's Supper, and then Good Friday, which has we start out with Stations of the Cross, and then we have Veneration of the Cross. And then I like to sing at the Easter Vigil, which is a long, tiring Mass, but it is so worth it because it's beautiful. And I don't ever regret it. Sometimes I get tired in the midst of it and just really want to go home and crash. But, if I go to that one, I probably am not going to go to the morning Easter Mass. So I will have Easter Sunday all day free to, I don't know. I don't know, maybe I'll go visit my parents. See, they live out of town, so that would be quite a drive, but it might be worth it. We'll see. I could get up early and go visit my daughter, one of my daughters. I could do that too. We'll see. I don't know. Life is for having making spontaneous plans. That's what life is for, I think, anyway. I was never a spontaneous person, but it's growing on me. The idea that you can just do something spontaneously, like, I'm just going to go out of town, I'm going to go on this drive, and I'm going to go visit somebody. Yep. All right. So that's it. Have a great week.